This is the jaw of St. Anthony.
Bro, look at that.
The head of John the Baptist? You ready for this one?
Oh, gosh.
Executed by King Herod. His head was gifted to the king's daughter on a platter.
That's in the
Now,
Bible.
what happened to his head remains a mystery, but in the centuries that followed, not one, but 4 different places have claimed to have found his grim relic.
Ruslan.
Dark Christian relics. Relics are pieces, bones, aspects of disciples or disciples of disciples that have been preserved throughout church history. And at one point, there was a massive influx of like them keeping like the tooth of Peter or like the skull of James. Matter of fact, the Armenian church in Jerusalem claims to have the skull of James in it. It's a weird tie-in, if I'm honest with you, because from one standpoint, it's pretty interesting. Like if you have like the Shroud of Turin and it's like, holy moly, it's possible that like Jesus was really wrapped in this and how crazy is it, right? While at the same time, it's kind of creepy at the same time, right?
Oh, yeah.
So let's check out this video. This is from a YouTube channel called Hagalega. Let's jump in.
The incorruptible jaw of St. Anthony. St. Anthony of Padua is one of the most revered saints in Catholic history. A legendary preacher, his relic speaks to his greatest gift, his voice. This is the jaw of St. Anthony.
This looks like one of the Squid Game characters.
Wow.
With the little eyes.
Bro, look at that.
To preserve the essence of the saint's speech, the remains are housed in this ornate reliquary, lavishly adorned with gold and jewels.
Hold on. His jaw is put into this thing that looks like a kind of like a halo with fire designs on the side of it. And what is that for his eyes?
Yeah, I don't know. And I don't know why they made him look all kind of like, you know, off center, asymmetrical. Poor guy, right? They say like the more asymmetrical your face, the more you are closer to like a Western beauty standard.
Mm-hmm.
And even in the daggone recreation of this man, they didn't give him a symmetrical face.
This is crazy.
I know, it's really wild. I wonder what, did he say what year this was?
Are housed in this ornate reliquary, lavishly adorned with gold and jewels, above which rests an intricately carved golden halo that encircles the saint's head. Now, at first glance, it may even appear as though it has eyes. I certainly thought so, but this effect is just a fog of the glass. Viewed from another angle, the illusion disappears entirely. It's certainly a haunting object, yet I find that there's something strangely beautiful about it.
Let's look up when this is happening. Okay, so this... Okay, they was making it sound
like a medieval relic.
Yeah, it's like a medieval relic. Okay, so 1350, Cardinal is removed the saint's jaw from his grave and is kept. Okay, well, what did he do?
Yeah.
What did he do? What did Saint Anthony do? And I'm guessing this is a saint in the Catholic tradition.
Let's see.
Yeah, definitely less creepy without the eyes. I will give you that. All right, Saint Anthony of Padua is widely known as the patron saint of lost things, as well for his miracles and powerful preaching. He's often invoked for help in finding lost objects.
You know, them and their saints. But he was born in 1195.
Interesting. Okay. You know what else is interesting? Is our Occupy Till I Come 60-day devotional, part of our Father's Day sale right now. This devotional takes you through the Old Testament in 35 entries with custom journal prompts every single day and a place for your prayer requests. You know, I'm a big advocate on journaling your prayer requests. And so you get through the Old Testament and 35 entries. There's additional reading if you want to go a little deeper. And then 25 days in the New Testament. And you get through the entire narrative of Scripture in 60 days. And there's notes at the very end designed by our very own sword and pencil, Josh Nadeau. I mean, this thing just looks beautiful. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go to blessgod.shop and pick yourself up one of these. A great gift for your dad, for your husband, for your mentor, for your pastor. We also got some mugs. We got some hats on sale for $19. This is our biggest sale since Black Friday. So go to blessgod.shop, pick up an Occupy Till I Come Devo for only $22.99, or get yourself some Priest Provider Protector apparel. Perfect for Father's Day. Great Father's Day present. And it's all shipping in time. So if you're watching this within a couple of days of it coming out, go pick it up. All right, let's go back to some of these interesting relics.
The skull of Mary Magdalene. Beneath the crypt of a basilica in France lies a humble skull housed in a lavish gold reliquary.
Okay, I got a question. How does this thing make it all the way up to France?
And you're asking smart people questions.
I understand, like, they got, like, you know, Peter was Paul in Rome. I get it. Like they traveled there. There's a lot of, but Mary Magdalene all the way up in France. So wherever she would die, then someone took her remains and took it up there.
Did the Bible document wherever she died? I don't think so.
I don't know. No, not in the scriptures. But I will say that these little designs are kind of fire and spooky at the same time.
Yeah, I can't lie. This whole like preserve thing with additional art around it kind of goes hard.
Is the head of Mary Magdalene, believed to be one of Jesus' closest companions. Her head is supported by 4 angels, their outstretched hands acting as a stand. Taken as a whole, it's a truly magnificent artifact. But why do I hear Dark Souls music?
What? That was crazy with the angels holding it up.
Yeah, this is cool. This is
something else.
Someone else.
The whole, it's a truly magnificent artifact. But why do I hear Dark Souls music?
Okay. Now, why was this preserved? You guys know that like in certain streams of Christianity, they thought there was power in these relics.
Really?
Yeah. So it's no different than in Acts where we see the handkerchief, right?
Yeah.
And he sent a handkerchief and people got, was that Paul, I think, or Peter? Somebody sent a handkerchief and and someone got healed. So that's the logic behind this. So it's not, there's a degree, I'm not stamping this.
Yeah.
But there's a degree of like, that's what they would point to be like, well, this sort of stuff passed around, stuff they held.
And they're still working out their faith, It's not all beautiful and we don't a bunch of theology videos around like we have today.
Right. Yeah, most people are illiterate.
Yeah,
in this time, like 10% of the population is literate. So all they have is what's being taught to them by the the clergy and what is being communicated from the church, and that's about it. Most people couldn't read, and the Bible wasn't as like accessible. Maybe in the 1300s more so, but one of the things that of the byproducts of the Protestant Reformation is that the ink press came around, and then the Bible was easily able to be read.
Yeah,
right?
all they had was like, I heard the Sermon on the Mount, and I have Mary Magdalene's skull, so I'll kind of work with that and follow Jesus. That's
Stunning medieval craftsmanship. This relic holds another intriguing backstory and possibly the secrets of the saint herself. While not counted among the 12 disciples, Mary Magdalene plays a crucial role in the story of Jesus. She was present at the crucifixion and among the first to witness his resurrection. Yet, little is known about what happened to her afterwards. According to one popular legend, she sailed to France, found one of the earliest Christian communities.
Okay, I did not know that.
I mean, that's absolute French propaganda by the Christians there.
I mean, listen,
everyone wants to claim something. They're like, if we make a piece of art about it, she lives in our country.
So there's some degree of history that they believe Thomas made it all the way to India. Not improbable for her to make it to France.
When was the Renaissance? Is that around the medieval era?
The artistic Renaissance is after this.
It's after this. Okay.
Yeah.
It seems like all of these so far these 2 relics are all medieval.
Yeah.
And it seems like there's a sprint to claim art and icons and sculptures of early church history. So that's pretty interesting. The head of John the Baptist. You ready for this one?
Oh, gosh.
Belongs to one of the most important figures in the New Testament, John the Baptist. According to the Gospels, John met a grisly fate. He was imprisoned and eventually executed by King Herod. His head...
Hold on. Why had him looking so darkened? Yo. Hold on. What is going on?
And he got one of those muscle tees with a nip slip out.
What is happening, bro?
Well, he was in prison and he was kind of wild, wasn't he?
Yeah, this is
a wild boy.
They got him looking like
he probably looks
looking like Schmeagol from Lord of the Rings.
Oh my goodness,
my precious,
my precious.
Why they got him looking like that, bro?
Oh,
come on, y'all can't do John the Baptist. John the Baptist is like the first in the kingdom of heaven or something.
Yeah, he was described as a wild man.
The greatest. What did you say? The greatest. The
wasn't he like
John was naked? The greatest, but unless the new disciples, I can't remember the phrase.
Wasn't he like naked in the desert and eating locusts?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what I imagine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Go ahead.
I think.
I just I feel disrespectful.
Let's just say like he probably wouldn't have popped off on Instagram these days.
Probably not.
You know what I'm saying?
And eventually executed by King Herod. His head was gifted to the king's daughter on a platter. Now, what happened to his head remains a mystery, but in the centuries that followed, not 1, but 4 different places have claimed to have found his grim relic.
That's what I'm kind of saying, right? All these places like, no, we have his head.
No, we have his head.
Yeah.
Most famous of these is kept in the Cathedral of Amiens in France. in a small chapel.
Okay. The princess cannibalized all the relics.
They're like, and then right behind Mary Magdalene, the guy also, John the Baptist's head was also in the Mary's bag. And once she got to France, we got her head later, and
within the cathedral, a skull is enshrined on a gold platter, just like in the story. A nice touch.
Oh, wow.
But it's not the only one. In San Silvestro in Rome, there's a skull fragment, complete with a wax head. In Munich, a separate head is kept on display, this time wrapped in a fine cloth adorned with pearls and jeweled roses.
That's my favorite one so far.
That's kind of fire.
Yeah.
And the final alleged
Kind of looks like a watermelon.
Ed, it's not housed in a church at all, but in a mosque. The Umayyad Mosque in Damascus, one of the oldest in the Islamic world, contains a shrine dedicated to John the Baptist, who is also a revered prophet in Islam.
Okay, yeah, that one's
I
fake.
don't like that.
That one, France has it for sure.
Why they got it? This is kind of spooky. I'm not gonna lie.
I know.
I guess that's the point, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's called the dark Christian relics.
Oh. The lost coin of Judas Iscariot.
Oh goodness.
This is kind of cool.
The lost coins of Judas Iscariot. Until now, we've discussed holy relics, but now it's time to talk about the unholy relics, like the so-called Judas coins, the 30 pieces of silver that Judas Iscariot received in exchange for betraying Jesus. One of these...
I'm just gonna let the record. I don't think anyone collected these coins after dude
Come on, man.
deleted himself.
Yeah. We'll see.
Right?
Yeah. You know what else is funny?
Huh.
Expedition Bible links to a store in Israel where you can buy first century relics. And you can buy a coin with Caesar's head on it from the first century, same era that Jesus was doing ministry for $1,000.
That's crazy.
And get that shipped. And so part of me is like, I totally agree with you. They probably didn't collect those coins. And there's also a chance that like we're just selling them off for $1,000. Like someone might just have it because some store in Israel is like, yeah, I guess we got to sell these off, huh?
Wow. That's kind of, that feels weird.
I would buy one because they turn them into necklaces.
That's kind of cool.
Are you wearing a render unto Caesar with a Caesar's necklace?
Right.
Come on.
Yeah.
is believed to be kept in a museum in Ireland. This ancient decadrachm dates to the classical era and is engraved with figures from Roman mythology. But what's most intriguing is the gold band around its edge, inscribed with the Latin phrase, "This is the price of blood." The inscription, of course, implies that the coin once belonged to Judas Iscariot, although it's impossible to verify such a claim, and historians agree that the gold rim is likely a later addition. That said, this relic is directly tied to one of the most infamous betrayals in the Bible. It's said that whoever touches the coin will be plagued with bad luck.
Wow. One time for
Huchalega.
for putting that together for us. You know, I find it interesting that sometimes people want things connected to the source
Yeah.
instead of just wanting the source.
Come on, somebody.
All right. It's like you
I want Mary's head. Just read the Bible.
right, you could just, so that's a very interesting paradigm. I wonder how much of it though is because of like not just biblical illiteracy, just general illiteracy. People just didn't know what they didn't know.
Yeah.
And so you get swept up in this culture and you're still calling on Jesus for the forgiveness of your sins, but you just didn't know what you didn't know. And so you're going after it, trying to figure it out.
This is kind of like
this is like a thing.
This is like medieval clout chasing. Kind of, right? Like
the medieval call out video.
where they're like, "Oh, dude, if we have Mary Magdalene's head, that's like pretty important." We're like our country's doing pretty good. it's like the Board of Tourism in medieval times, right? It's
Low-key.
like we have a resort and Mary Magdalene's head.
Wow, that's an interesting way to look at it. I saw a movie, Catholics and the Orthodox are going to be upset at me, but there's actually a really good movie about the life of Luther. Look this up for me real quick. It kind of slaps. And I watched it a long time ago. And they kind of get into some of this. It's about 25 years old. It was very well done. Yeah. And so it's actually really, really well done.
I always saw this on my grandparents' DVD shelf.
Yeah, they
of
did
all the movies that they had, and I never watched it. And
great job with it.
This is a deep cut. Like this is like a weird 6-year-old memory for me. Like when I was 6 years old.
This movie kind of touches on some of these things and relics and indulgences and them getting these different bones and then people paying to see the bones traveling.
It's like a museum.
Like a traveling museum. And like some of this stuff was like Luther believing that it had just went too far within the church and was like, we gotta reform some of this stuff. We gotta change some of this stuff. It's wild.
It's like a full-on circus.
It was like, low key,
Wow.
you know, and all that stuff. So anyway, great movie. I wonder if we could do a reaction to this movie,
That'd be crazy.
like a Patreon
Luther breakdown.
reaction, or like do a reaction
5 hours.
with a Catholic. Like me and Trent Horn sit down and watch the movie of Luther.
Well, what they're forgetting is that Luther actually.
Why you do the Ben Shapiro?
He's kind of Ben Shapiro.
No,
He's kind of like Ben Shapiro.
No.
What do you mean no?
I mean, he's smart. He has way more charisma than Ben Shapiro. Stop. Trent's the homie.
No. He's the homie.
Okay.
I'm saying you brought up charisma. I'm not going there. I'm saying he's the Catholic Ben Shapiro.
What y'all think?
Listen to his videos is like an encyclopedia.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll let the chat decide.
He's smart.
We'll let the comments decide. All right. Hey, thank you so much for checking out the video. Please be sure to comment below and subscribe and all that good stuff. And check out this other video that YouTube seems to be recommending just for you. Let me know if they nailed it. All right? I'll see you over there. Peace.